It has hosted big bands, teen dances, roller skating parties, weddings, and more.
But after more than 70 years, the Skylon Ballroom in Hartington, Nebraska has been on the move to a hopefully longer and even brighter future. It's a massive project, moving this huge ballroom from its home since 1952 to a new location a few hundred yards away, down a hill. What challenges does this present?
Gravity.
Dale Morrow and his wife Sue of Morrow House Moving in Jackson, Nebraska, have their hands full with this project. They've enlisted the help of Scribs Moving in Davis City, Nebraska, all Navy veterans like Dale.
It hasn't creaked or popped. We haven't heard a sound out of it.
The longtime owner, 76-year-old Roger Wortman, says running the ballroom the past 30 years was wearing on him and his family.
A lot of work on the weekends, and that's why I had to get rid of it.
Wortman, who runs a plumbing and electric services company next door, thought he had the building sold to the city. But voters turned down a $1.6 million plan to move the Skylon and turn it into a community events center. So he's doing it himself with hopes the city or someone else will take over later.
I want to keep it. I just wanted it so bad to stay, or at least something, whether it was this or whether it was a new one. I wanted something here for our community.
Family and community members came to watch and reminisce, including the son of the original owner, who spent many of his early years working on the Skylon's massive wooden floor.
Oh, the good times that I had roller skating with the kids and putting the skates on and just sweeping the place up and keeping it clean and getting ready for the next dance.
Wortman says the ballroom is a plus that many smaller communities don't have.
You don't know how many times at a wedding dance I was told by a party that wasn't from here and went through our town and couldn't get over how nice a town we had.
The trip down the hill was long but successful. The ballroom placed on a new foundation.
Well, I'm just glad it's happening. I'm totally glad, even though there was some people that didn't think we should do it.
Mover Dale Morrow estimates the Skylon weighed, get this now, 150 tons. And after all these years, they didn't find any insect damage or rotting in the 1x4 lumber used to make the frame of that building. And now, Al, I'll tell you what, I've seen some houses and big buildings moved in my lifetime, but nothing like this. In fact, the companies to do this kind of work, they are disappearing, a disappearing breed in many areas of the country. Sue Morrow, who works with her husband Dale in their Jackson, Nebraska moving business, says there's a lot of opportunity waiting for anyone who would be interested in the moving business, especially for women.
Aren't a lot of women in this industry. I wish there were more because there is great opportunities. We have fewer and fewer movers. They're just getting very rare because a lot of guys are retiring, and the younger crowd, it seems, just doesn't want to pick it up.
Now, anyone who might be interested in getting more information can contact Morrow House Moving of Jackson, Nebraska.